Welcome to the session Project Assimilation for Software QA. That means whenever any software QA is a fresher and getting onboarded to any new project, then what are the things needed that we need to pass on to the new QA so that he can understand the things and start working on any project. Now let's see what are the things that need to be considered. So the contents of this session is onboarding, that is onboarding the QA to the project, then knowledge transfer, the things that the QA will get when he gets onboarded to the project, then project kickstart, what happens when the project starts, and what happens when the project is getting delivered. So let's see it one by one. So the first thing is onboarding to the new project. Now, when any QA gets onboarded to the new project, he will get a briefing about that project. Meaning, for example, consider the example of Jet Airways. Now there are some changes happening on the website of the Jet Airways, and you are working for the client Jet Airways by some any software company. So they might be supporting the Jet Airways to maintain their software. Now what will happen in this onboarding process to the new project? You will get to know the things that happen in the Jet Airways website, like booking the any ticket, then any group tickets, any discounts, how it is applied, then how the billing happens, the invoice generation, the ticket generation, and lot of things will be there. But your project will be focused on some specific area, not on the general, not on the entire website, right? For even for any banking also, so you might be onboarded to do any project regarding the KYC update of the customer, or maybe any transaction updates of any customer, or maybe taxes or invoice generation, something like that. So depending on the project, you will get to know, or you will be given some knowledge about that project. Okay, so this will not be related to exact project whatever you are doing for test delivery, but it will be depending on the client. So it will be the background of the client. Okay, so you will be giving some information about the client, it works, and your overall work area. Now let's come to the next point, that is knowledge transfer. So what does this mean? Meaning your team lead or your colleague will give you some knowledge transfer regarding some specific things about the project. Okay, so for example, how to book the ticket, where to click it, or how to onboard the customer, what are the things that are required to onboard the customer, maybe passport details, PAN details, Aadhaar card details, etc. So those might be the compulsory one. You have to mandatorily edit those field and update those fields, then only the customer KYC can be completed. So these kind of specific things will be passed on to you while the knowledge transfer. So once you are onboarded, you got the client details, website details, or any other software related details. Next is knowledge transfer. It will be more specific to area of work, wherever you are going to work. So this will be done in this phase. Third thing is kickstart of the project. Now this will be the crucial thing for you. So what is the kickstart? This will happen, a call will happen between the stakeholders and your team lead, test lead, and might be involving you. You might not be the speaker in this, okay? The speaker will be business analyst, business engineers, clients, and your test leads or test managers and project managers. In this kickstart meeting, they will define the high level project requirements. High level meaning they will say, okay, for let's take the example Jet Airways. In that they will say, I want to add one booking type where a chartered aircrafts will be used, or maybe helicopter inclusion will be there. So for example, if you want to book any helicopter, currently you might be searching on internet where to go. Next time, maybe Jet Airways is onboarding that service on their website. So they might be providing the helicopters to you or to customer. Okay, so they want to onboard similar to flight booking system but helicopter has the capacity of only 5 to 6 persons, so it will be specific to that. So the client will say, okay guys, this is our project, we have to onboard the helicopter booking system where maximum capacity should be 6 people, and the rate will be decided by the Jet Airways. Okay, time to time there should be the editability, uh, availability, and booking date. So these three key things will be there. Those will be limited, maybe 5 helicopters per day, maybe the booking amount they should be changing time to time, so there is no logic, but it should be the manual thing they wanted to do. So like that they will give you the brief about the project. Along with that they will give the business requirement document. Okay, generally this document is prepared by business analyst. What they do, they will talk to the client, they will get the requirements from them. Okay, so likewise whatever I said, only 5 helicopters per day, etc., etc., that you will not know in beginning, correct? And to ask this question to the customer, the customer is not free. Okay, so you cannot contact him every time. You'll have to schedule meetings properly based on their agenda, their existing meeting schedules, etc. So what any organization does, they onboard the business analyst to do this job. Their job will be to get the requirements from the client, define it properly, get the sign off from the customer, and then pass on those signed off requirements to the development team, testing team, and even the delivery teams. Okay. After that, once they get the prepare the business requirement document or just requirement document, then there are two documents prepared. One, the developers head or any team lead of developers, they will prepare the plan, that what they will be developing, how they will be developing. Okay, and the test lead or team lead of the testing team, they will prepare the test plan. Okay, so test plan will be of different types. You might be already aware, master test plan or functional test plan. There will be many types. Master test plan is generally for the bigger projects where the integration happens, multiple teams are involved. Functional test plan is little bit for smaller teams, 1 or 2 teams are involved, and you know your responsibilities, what needs to be done. So it will be the functional test plan. You have to update how you are going to test it, what data you will need, approximately how many test cases will be prepared, how the regression will happen, what will be in scope, what will be in out of scope, etc. Okay, so this will be the template will be given to you and you'll have to fill in that. Okay, and you'll have to analyze the requirements during this phase as well. Once functional test plan is prepared, in parallel you will be starting test design. Okay, now this is the project delivery actually. So you have already got the requirements and you have started planning. So if you see here, I have mentioned plan here. Okay, the first thing, how the project delivery happen. Planning, that is functional test plan, master test plan, etc. Even the test strategy will be prepared in most of the projects. Test strategy is uh, how you will do it. Okay, plan is what you will be doing it, when you will be doing it, but strategy is how. Okay, so strategy will address the how part of any project delivery. Then what kind of data, how you will be preparing that data, whether it will be the synthetic data, whether you will be getting the data from production, that you will be masking it and using it like that. Okay, then you will prepare requirement traceability matrix. This part will also be given to you by BA some of the times. Some of the times you will have to prepare. So map the requirement to the test cases or test scenarios. Okay, once you do that, the test design part will come. Test design will be based on RTM, business requirement documents, and you'll have to track it based on the RTM, meaning each requirement should at least have something from the RTM. RTM should be covered fully. Test design might have some negative test cases which are not part of RTM or some corner cases as well. So test design we'll have some of the scenarios which are corner cases. For example, helicopter with 7 or 8 people. Maybe you should try it. Okay. Or maybe you should try all our kids. Okay. Kids booking the helicopter. That might be the negative test cases or the corner test case where it should not be allowed. Only kids should not go to the helicopter. Maybe who are under 10 years old. That is just an example. After that, the test execution will kick off. Before the test execution, the dev team will also give an overview of the system to you. They will show how the code is working currently. They will show you the demo, at least in screenshot format, or the live demo will be arranged by the dev team. They will show you this is how we have developed, this is how it is expected. The BA will comment on that. Sometimes users are also invited to see the first UI of the application. Then test execution will start, and in that you will be executing all the test cases that you have designed. It may happen during the demo of development, there might be some changes suggested by the users or BA or even you. Okay, that okay, this requirement is not uh, fulfilled by you properly, or this is not the way to do it. Maybe they might have understood something differently, the dev team, and that you will have to fulfill. Now, while execution, you might find many bugs, correct? Also, the daily execution status you will have to provide. So, this will be covered in the reporting part. Today, we have executed 10 cases. For example, there are 100 test cases, and your plan is 10 cases each day for the 10 days, meaning 2 weeks of testing cycle. So, your report should contain planned 10, pass 5, 6, whatever, failed how many, blocked how many. Okay, that you will have to report maybe in the DSR, that is daily status report, sometimes WSR, weekly status report. Okay, similar way the metrics you'll have to provide, which will have the defects, which will have the summary of the project, meaning the execution progress and all. Okay, after that, defect tracking. Defect tracking is very important. If you have raised the defect but if you haven't assigned to anyone, how somebody will know that and how someone will fix it? So defect tracking is very important. For example, you have assigned it to developer and developer has commented it saying this is not my fault, this is the environmental issue. Okay, but he has forgot to assign it to you. Then who will do that? It is our responsibility to check the defect, whatever are open, whatever are closed. Even if any closed are there, then no work needs to be done, but you'll have to just track it for the reporting purpose later point of time. Whatever are the open bugs, you'll have to check it. If there are any new comments, you have to assign it properly to the proper team. Okay, then once all the execution is done, what you will be doing, you will be preparing a summary report or the closure report. In that summary report or closure report, you will have to mention the signed off things, meaning the test plan, which is already, which should be signed off by the BA at least and the dev team. Okay, so dev team also should understand that this is the test plan and this is aligned with their development. Okay, that's why they will be signing off. In test plan, you might be mentioning that the drop one will have this component, drop two will have these components. Drop one and drop two are the deployment. The code might not be available on the first day of your testing. It will come in the set, maybe 5 requirements on day 1, 10 requirements on day 3, like that. Okay, so based on that you might have prepared your test plan. So that's why the dev team also should be the listener and might be approver in some cases for the sign-offs. Then closure report should also contain how many defects were open, how many are closed, how many are still there and of minor category, whether the go and no go decision has been made. What is the go and no go decision? Go generally means there are no critical or major defects open. Okay, so there are only minor bugs are pending and still the project can go live with the minor bugs, and the minor bugs will be fixed subsequently after maybe the next release, and it will not have the impact on the end-to-end flow of the data. Okay, and it will also have the all the metrics whatever you have prepared as an attachment or just mentioning in some paragraph format, like the test case have been prepared and signed off, so signed off copy should be there. Execution has been completed 100% or 90% in cycle 1, cycle 2, whatever it is. Then it will have the regression scope and its status, whether the regression has been completed successfully with no open bugs or only minor open bugs. So this is how it is done. Now this is the flow I have given. So we have to plan the testing first, then design the test cases, then execute it. Once execution is completed fully, then you are almost done. And after that, the test delivery, meaning the deployment to the actual server. So your project will be live from that day. So thank you. We can close it now.